You are not half of America. You don't even make up a third of America. You're just the loudest out there.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here, and TikTok is clapping back on the half of America argument that the MAGA GOP are dead set on selling to the American people, and they sure as hell don't make up half of us.
You guys do realize that there's like a huge portion of our population that doesn't vote, isn't registered to vote, which I don't agree with. I think everybody should be registered to vote. In fact, I haven't missed a single election, and I have voted in every single election since I was 18 years old and I could vote. But the fact that these people think that their extremist views make up half of America is exactly why they're going to lose in November.
This user rightly points out that a large portion of the United States doesn't participate in the election process, whether they sit most of them out except presidential elections or they simply have no time for politics. A lot of America doesn't pay attention to it. And this is a problem. If we want to change the way things happen with our representatives, then we have to make sure they hear us. And our loudest voice is our vote.
Half of Americans. No. First of all, there's more Democrats than there are Republicans, so it can't be half. But anyway, that's beyond the point. He was calling out those who do not condemn political violence. And if you think that he was calling you out, maybe you have to ask yourself that question. Do you condemn or condone political violence? Because if you don't condemn it, then he was talking about you.
Now, as for those who identify as MAGA, a poll last month indicated that 42% of Republicans identify as MAGA people, while 58% do not. And what percentage of those people even vote? And there's no really way to tell. Another poll found that 25% of Republicans responded, as well as 58% who are asked deemed that MAGA movement as a threat to democracy. So as the video creator stated, they are not half of the country. They are the loudest squeaky wheel on a cart being pushed down the aisle at Walmart. Everyone stops and looks and wonders why that wheel hasn't been fixed, but then they just move on. The more threatening percentage of MAGA Republicans exists in smaller government seats, city council and election boards and school administrations. These are the people who make small ripples in their communities that travel up the ladder to allowing for more harm to be done by those that get into higher positions of power. And that's where we find ourselves today. Local governments now house election deniers and school superintendents who don't believe racism is real. These are the people creating more issues that we can't fix if we don't get them out of power.
Neopronouns are a great way to mark mental illness. I don't give a fuck anymore. This has gone too far. You're gonna say, oh, these people are such a high rate. They're a high rate anyways. They're mentally
Well, bud, using your logic, middle-aged white men from Canada are the most at risk for suicide. So by your logic, you happen to be the most mentally unstable person on this app. Huh. And that's saying a lot. Get help. Use a pronoun, maybe. Don't be another statistic.
That first dude is the perfect example of when you get lost in the sauce of thinking deeply about shallow things, you drown in your own shallow understanding. Oh, for y'all that don't know, my name is Conscious Lee. My preferred pronouns is he, him, and they. If we being real, pronouns used to just be another part of grammar that we all had to learn. Until Republicans realized folks was acknowledging their own humanity with it, and then it got trivialized. Just sprinkling a little bit of context in, we know that pronouns are the ways that we identify ourselves outside of our names. He, her, him, she, they, them, those type of things, right? Sometimes people will deploy temper tantrums when they don't understand something. And that's what we see this dude is doing in regards to neopronouns or new pronouns. They are the pronouns that is increasingly used in place of she, he, or they when they're referring to a person. Education is elevation, and we know examples of neopronouns, examples of V, ni, Z, Spivak, m, If it annoys you that people want to respond to themselves this way, first it shows you don't understand language and linguistics because language all is made up and it's all fluid. Second thing it shows you is that you have a weird way in being invested in denying other folks' humanity, because if another person using a particular pronoun gives them a sense of self or gives them a sense of understanding or consciousness or awareness, what does that have to do with you? Why does that piss you off? Simplistically stating it, pronouns and neo-pronouns is inconsequential to how you live your life. You feel me? And right-wingers are trying to hijack this quote-unquote culture war to be able to almost spoon-feed stupidity to their followers. You feel what I'm saying?
Men committed shameful acts with other men and receive in themselves a due penalty for their error. God gave them a word to a depraved mind so that they do what they should not be done. They invent ways of doing evil. But let me remind you that those who do such things deserve death. The LGBT community not only continues to do these very things, but also approves of those who practice them. And let me end by saying that God loves everyone. He even loves those of the LGBT community. But he doesn't like their practices or their moral standards.
What?
Okay, thank you.
When straight men can't be comfortable in their own masculinity, it speaks volume of their manhood.